All right. So we are wordsmiths, Peter. We write
Fiery
a lot.
wordsmiths.
We write a lot.
I write too much.
Whether it's written for video, written for audio, written for this, written for the website, written for tweets. There's got to be a word that you hear or see written that just stokes you, gets your fire going. What's your go-to pet peeve word or use of wordage?
Oh, man. I have a lot. But the one that's been bugging me lately is dominating versus dominant.
Really?
Let me explain this.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long it's been, but I started noticing it probably a year ago.
Really?
People would say Team X with a dominating win over Team Y. It's not a dominating win. It's a dominant win. Did we just forget that dominant is a word?
I think they did.
We just forget that it's also like the.
I think they could have chosen a different word.
Don't piss me off even more than you already have today. It
could have.
It's right
spelled
in
COULDOF.
It's right in line with the old journalist standard where you're supposed to know the difference between effective and effective.
Yeah.
A and the E.
Yeah.
And people have just said, well, that's too hard, so I'm just going to say impacted.
It's even worse.
But impacted is like this.
Yes,
impacted.
that's contact. Yeah.
Okay. I got a lot
so
of
you're
them.
done. Kayla, do you got one before I drop
the hammer.
the hammer?
I can't think of one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can think of
a
a few
few that really bug the snot out of you, but since you don't want to participate in today's show.
I don't want to say that.
You don't want to participate in today's show. That's a bit.
That's fine.
Yeah. We'll just go with that.
All right. My word is less grammatical and more snarky, I think the word is. And I just don't like it. It's happening. It's at a tournament. It's a 3-3 game. And one team gets a penalty or something happens to the team and they say something to the refs. So they say something and then the other team has to chime in, which is a no-no, by the way. Don't comment on someone else's commentary. Okay. And they'll say, keep it classy.
Oh,
why is that keep it classy, brain nerd? It's never meant as a compliment.
No, it's not.
And quite frankly, I think the mistake there is not the use of classy, because the classy is this place. Jack's Cafe is a classy place, and it truly is classy. What they're commenting on is that they aren't being classy, and I get the sarcasm there, but it's just annoying, and I hate it, and I wish that people would stop using the term classy when they don't mean classy.
I just don't understand how it can be so used in the incorrect context.
Yes. Well, obviously they're being sarcastic, so, but it's just
keep it classy, Purple.
That voice will live in my
lives
left
in your brain
ear
forever,
for the rest of my life.
You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. Cause it get cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota.
Welcome to 10 Minutes. I'm Tony Scott, joined with Peter Odney, and this is 9th season. How you been?
I've been good, Tony. I've been good.
I feel like I gotta have my gangster voice on when I'm at Jack's Cafe.
It is kind of gangstery here, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll do the salmon with Mornay sauce.
We did not. That's good. We did not have a show last week. There weren't a lot of tournaments to commentate on. And it turns out there were a ton of tournaments to make predictions for, and I apologize. A lot
You're
of times,
the worst.
No, it just was a lot coming out.
You got an angry phone call, didn't you?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
I did not. No one was angry that the show didn't go off last week, but I think a lot of people love our content, and they love to walk their dogs, run on a treadmill, work.
Stab voodoo dolls of the two of us.
Yes, they like to do, there's lots of things there are lots of activities that players and parents and fans and coaches like about this show, and one of them is to, take their dog for a walk and put on their headphones and listen to us chat for a half an hour or 45 minutes. So hopefully today's will be a nice dog walk. We have some nice weather this week, so You're out there walking your dog, pop in the headphones. Here we go.
Not the AirPods because they melt your brain.
Yes. Before we do that, do you have an announcement about one of our sponsors? I saw an email come in from your good friend Joe McCullough.
I don't have an announcement other than the fact that he has changed brokerages.
And he got you a hockey jersey too.
He did. It is at our office right now.
I wish I could see that on you. Does it fit you?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. All right. Does it fit you better with shoulder pads on, or does it fit you better in the office?
It fits me better with shoulder pads on.
Okay, so it's a big droopy dress.
Yeah, kind of. I have very slight shoulders. I'm built a little bit like a child-sized mannequin.
Okay.
Where there's no definition, no muscle tone. But Joe has now switched brokerages to Lakes Area Realty.
Ooh,
I believe he is still working with Pete Rinzel at Bell Bank Mortgage.
Yes.
He's in the process of coming up with a new PDF and a new ad for himself, so we look forward to seeing that.
Love it. Lakes Area is like a Minneapolis-based.
He wanted to keep his client base local, and this is what I love about Joe. Your realtors, they'll all tell you that they want to take care of you, right? They're here to take care of you. They're here to get you the best deal. It's like a sports agent. I'm here to take care of you. Yep. When in reality, they have hundreds and hundreds of clients that they're trying to find homes for.
Yeah.
But Joe switched brokerages because he wanted to keep it more local. He wanted to help people in his community find homes, which I think is very, very admirable.
I love that.
So
I love that.
If you're looking for a home in the metro area, or I believe they stretch into western Wisconsin, you're going to find Joe McCullough at Lakes Area Realty.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it. All right.
Love you, buddy.
Let's talk some squirts and 10As.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a red hot team. Only one loss all year. It's the Lakeville. You just call them like the Cats? I think they call them the Cats.
I think they're the Cats.
Their 10A team wins the Cabin Fever tournament in Maple Grove. Peyton Hocking, I believe her name is, had 2 goals in the win over Osseo Maple Grove. That's bad note-taking by me. I'm sorry about that.
It is bad note. Right now I'm scrambling trying to find
and then Moorhead wins the Warroad tournament, beating Andover, who they lost to in dramatic fashion in the Duluth tournament. So Moorhead gets a little revenge. The third place team at the Squirtacular wins the Warroad tournament a week or 2 later. So congratulations to the Spuds. They were put back into the top 10. And then speaking of top 10, Eden Prairie beats Squirtacular champ Chaska-Chan.
Saw that one.
And it's like 9,000 views that tweet's got. One picture and one upset. It was crazy how many people saw that or were excited about Chaska-Chan go down. And all I made was one commentary that every team who wins the Squirtacular at some point has a hangover, right? Hangover. And their hangover finally kicked in against Eden Prairie.
13,000.
It's insane.
I wish I could put out like a 17-word tweet.
And get
that type
13,000. It's insane. So, yeah.
Incredibly jealous.
And what it says is that, everyone knows Chaska-Chan won the Squirtacular, and they're on a collision course, maybe getting to the Final Four of the championship up in Fargo, and they're a very good team. I thought we saw their roster come up for Squirtacular. Like, man, this is a tough team to beat. Mm-hmm. So, it's a tough team. You are going to have a post-Squirtacular hangover. Is it one game or is it 1 month? I saw one team who won this thing, and I think they just went completely off the deep end after they won it. I'm not going to say because it wouldn't be nice to that team.
Whisper it in my ear.
I will someday.
Write it down.
I will later.
Seriously?
Okay. Yeah. So on to Pee Wees. Before we get to that, I'd like to give a shout out to Map South Hockey, our sponsor. Long time sponsor. We also run the Bantam Elite League with the people over at Map South. Map South is a great facility, but it's more than just brick and mortar over there at St. Thomas Arena. It's the people. The people are great trainers. They have levels of play, so no matter you sign up and you get put into a specific level, and they have something for everybody there. And their facility is outstanding. Great ice, great sheet ice to skate on in the summer. Also, on top of that, you get fantastic shooting areas, fantastic dry land areas, fantastic weights, fantastic trainers. So check out mapsouth.hockey. Peter, you dying over there?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just took too big of a breath in.
Okay. Once you get your breathing handled, I will let you know that Andover has jetted up the rankings in Pee Wee AA. They won the John Erickson Memorial. 3 words I never hoped to string together in my lifetime, but I just had to. They won the tournament. They had a Pee Wee AA tournament in Woodbury this week. But the interesting thing is they beat Eden Prairie in the championship, who beat Woodbury in the semifinals. So Andover goes 5-0 last week over at Bielenberg and are now right square in the thick of things when it comes to playoffs in Pee Wee AA.
Do you get a hotel if you're Andover for that tournament?
No.
Is that a hotel one?
That's not a hotel. That's not a hotel. All right, moving to 12A. Thief River Falls makes it into the top 10. They have a 24-3-1 record for 12As. That's pretty good. They haven't played any real tough teams, so I've been real nervous about putting them in, but the schedule, their ranking is so high that I had to actually give them the nod. Hopefully this might get them a game or two against some good competition. They are in the North Region, which is interesting because North Region this year for 12As is 16, which they're in, 11, which is the Duluth district, and 12, which is where Grand Rapids sits. And Grand Rapids is a legit top 10 team who's played, won and lost against several top 10 teams. So it's Thief River, Warroad, Roseau, Grand Rapids, and Hibbing in that region this year.
Sounds like a party to me.
That should be fun to watch.
Sounds
should
like a
be fun
party.
to watch. A lot of good parity happening in northern Minnesota the last few years at 12A, which is exciting to me.
Oh, yeah. It shows the spread of the game, and you're hoping that the numbers follow along with the initial
I
spread.
agree. Next up, undefeated Marshall wins the Detroit Lakes tournament at 12B. They win 5-1 over River Lakes. They are 28-0-1. Go Tigers.
Whoa. Okay.
It's impressive.
All right.
It's impressive. So, and then lastly, our Danglefest champion, Armstrong Cooper, wins the 12B White Bear tourney, and guess who? They beat Minnetonka
Bear?
Blue again. You know, like the same. It was like a repeat of the Danglefest. Natalie Staples had 11 points for the Wings to lead the entire tournament in scoring at 12B. I think those two teams are on a collision course with our good friends Marshall in a state tournament this year. So
I
there
do
you
like
go.
that Armstrong Cooper team.
They were good. They were the nicest people. Happy to be there, just friendly. It was fun to have
Somebody
them around.
different, too.
Yeah, totally.
Somebody different.
It was funny. I looking up the games in that in both of these tournaments. The one in River Lakes, the one in Detroit Lakes, and the one in White Bear. It's like, we knew a lot of those teams played in Danglefest, so it was fun to see. Like River Lakes was in the tournament; they played in our tournament. It was fun to see a lot of these teams. Northern Lakes was in the tournament; they were in our tournament. It was fun to see a lot of these same faces and jerseys in those tournaments as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Last, let's get to the Bantams and 15Us. Who's our third sponsor for this show? I always we only have two?
There's only two.
Only two? I feel like there was another one.
Kayla.
Kayla's, thankfully, there's only two of them for this show. She would know. She's the one that's put the logos on them all. Okay, 15U. Fargo hosted a 15U tournament. Can you take one guess who won a 15U tournament in Fargo, North Dakota, Peter?
West Fargo.
Ding, 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 ding. Good call. They won. They are now number one in our rankings.
They're so good.
They would be number one in Minnesota, too, I think.
Yes. 100%.
Boys Bantam A. Who do you think won the New Hope tournament in Bantam A's?
Armstrong Cooper.
There you go. They win it. They beat Mammal. I think it was like 5-3. Mammal's now in the top 10. Listen to this record. The Wings are 13-1-1 in 2023.
You know who else is 13-1-1?
Who?
Duluth East.
Yes, they are in boys high
Their
school.
last 15.
Very good. Very good. And last but not least, Bantam B, Prior Lake in an all-district 6 Final Four, mind you. The top 4 teams in the state. If you wanted to see good Bantam B hockey, you'd have gone to Lakeville last weekend. Prior Lake, Edina White, Edina Green, and Jefferson made the Final Four, and they were all in the same tournament, and they made the Final Four. And this one, Prior Lake wins it 7-2 over Edina White.
Oh, are you trying to tell me that Prior Lake is a good Bantam B team?
They always have a good Bantam. They are the
Interesting.
defending state champions, and they could win it again this year. They're clubbing teams. They just beat that Edina White team who won our Gobbler 7-2 on Sunday.
7-2.
Yes.
Seems
Yes.
That seems high.
Yes. So now we are heading into the backstretch of the season. I was looking up good games, good teams to go see.
We're on like the back nine of the back nine.
Districts start next weekend, I believe, for those northern teams. So like their season will be over on February whatever, or maybe it's this weekend. It could be this weekend, which is crazy. Like if you just look up District 12, I'll look up District 12 really quick. I think their districts could be this weekend, and their season's over, which is really strange. Doesn't it seem like the northern teams start late, and then they end early?
For districts?
Yeah.
I can never tell with the northern teams.
Yeah.
I feel like northern Minnesota operates on a totally different wavelength than the metro area.
You know, it's next weekend. It's 17th through the 19th is when they play. So District 12 is, thank goodness, because if it would have been the 10th through the 12th, I'm like, man, that's an early exit for some of these teams. So they'll be playing. This is the weekend in youth hockey where it's kind of like purgatory. You're finishing up your last district game and maybe getting a scrimmage in or two. But I know there's a big. I know that Grand Rapids 12As are coming to the Twin Cities, and it was cool. Looking at their calendar, they're like, oh, yeah, they play this team and they play that team. And Saturday night, of course, they're going to a Wild game. So that's talk about a perfect weekend for the girls. So they're going to get to play 2 or 3 games, and then we're also going to get a chance to go to a Wild game for them. So I thought that was some interesting news. Any other news on the youth hockey front here in the Twin Cities?
Not for me. I know we're coming up on district playoffs, which means you have to look at 16 different websites to figure out who. I'm a little surprised Minnesota Hockey doesn't have a centralized district scoreboard.
No, they don't.
Which would make things.
This is also about the time of year where I start to build the who's going to regions database, which is a fun article for people to keep an eye on, like who punches their ticket from districts to regions, and that'll be coming out next week.
Fun for who?
I love it because I know where everyone's going. I love knowing where everyone's going, and so when we get to regions and we're amping up our staff, we're going to be in about we'll see every level. And we'll have pictures from every level of regions that weekend. So it's the next 5 weeks, 6 weeks for us is the fun part. This is the best part for youth hockey, I think. We get to see, we have girls section starting next, or it already started.
Started last night.
Right? And then we have all of our Player of the Year awards we have to announce. We get to see sections at the boys, districts and regions at the boys and girls, and then 2 state tournaments back-to-back, followed by Stars of Tomorrow. And then the season's over.
That seems like a lot.
It is. It's a lot. Between now, it's the next 5 weeks is going to be a sprint for YHH. I'm excited for it. Before we sprint, do you want to give out some Boom Roasted and then game pucks?
I really don't have a Boom Roasted.
Really?
No.
What if I give one and you can maybe come up? I bet by the time I'm done roasting Kayla, that you will have one.
Okay.
You want to bet that?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Here's my Boom Roasted for Kayla. One of the codes in YHH that she didn't read in the employee manual is don't talk to my wife about how hard I work. Okay. That's in there. It's like the 3rd page. Don't tell Debbie that Tony works a lot. Because that only gets Debbie mad and then gets Tony in trouble. You can say lots of things to my wife, lots of things, but don't say, man, your husband works a lot. You should probably be home more.
But, didn't she already know that?
Yeah, but
I didn't say he should be home more.
Yeah, but you don't walk up to a campfire with the gas thing over and go, yeah, well, it can make the fire bigger. Well, yeah, it's going to make the fire bigger. But
you've never put gasoline on a fire?
I do all the time.
Fun.
All the time. All the time. It's the most fun thing to do at a fire.
I don't live in Lakeville.
And it's dangerous, too. I like that part of it. But let's not tell my wife in the future that I work a lot, okay? She already knows
I'll keep that in mind.
I'll
try to remember, but, I'm not the smartest, so it might come out of my brain.
All right, well, there was my 2-minute Boom Roasted on Kayla. I'm wondering, Peter, have you developed one yet? Or are you still in such a happy spot? You're just preventing her from saying the same thing?
It's not really a youth Boom Roasted. It was something I saw over the weekend.
Okay, let's see it. Let's hear it.
Scouts paying to get in to a game.
Oh, wow.
I get it.
This will be good. This is great, actually.
I get it. Some places it's free. Okay, I get it. Some places it's free. Most
Some places it's not.
Most scouts are pretty good about it. They'll ask if they can go in for free, which, I mean, why would
so they don't have to document the $10
Yeah, which is why
that's the only reason people don't want to pay.
Yeah, and one guy was super nice about it. He's like, can I just keep my ticket so that I can turn it in for reimbursement? Which,
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely.
Yep, for sure.
But in this age where everybody is a scout, and it seems like there's 10 new ones on Twitter every day.
Yep.
We can't tell who is a scout and who is not a scout. There have been random parents who have been like, yeah, I'm a scout for so-and-so.
Oh, yeah.
Are you? Are you?
You're looking to get in a game for free and get a free jacket, maybe. But if you work for here's my theory on the scouts, right? We're at best, a mom and pop shop small business, right?
It's probably smaller than a mom and pop.
Okay, we're a mom and pop shop small business with some full-time employees, okay? And the only way we make money on games is when people come to them, and we can make if the place is half full, we make half the profit. If it's full rink, we make full profit, right?
Which we then have to split with like 6 other
Oh,
entities.
let's not even get into who we need to split it with, including the rinks when we draw a certain amount of people, right? We won't go there. I'm not whining. I'm just saying at the end of the day, we have to collect money. And for the life of me, I've tried to reconcile why the New York Islanders or the Carolina Hurricanes can't afford $10 to put into a business like our small business, and trying to keep it afloat so we can continue to do wonderful products like we did last Friday, where the building was almost sold out, and two sets of teams, both teams, winning and losing, walked out that door. Both head coaches walked out that door, came to me and said, that was awesome, and we would love to do that again. Can we do that again? We had a blast. So I know we did something right, except one guy.
I know we did something right, but
some scout who didn't identify himself with a professional team. So I know he's a low-level scout, and he's trying to get in for free. Sorry. Go watch it on TV. It's free.
But it's the assumption that as soon as you say you're a scout, everybody should melt to the floor.
Boom roasted.
Look, dude, you know what? If I counted up how many times actual scouts asked me, and it hasn't been nearly as many as who ask you, but if I counted out how many college coaches and scouts asked me for an opinion on players, I could call myself a scout and walk into a rink and be like, yeah, I'm a scout. Well, but I don't.
I'll tell you this story. Steve Miller, who works for the University of Minnesota's men's team, walked in, paid, took his receipt, walked away.
That's
end of
easy.
Story.
I think there was a North Dakota assistant who did the same thing.
All
he did was ask for the ticket back so that he could.
End of story. Well, yeah, Vermont was there. There was a lot of college teams
there.
Yeah, it's cool. Very cool. Very
like
cool.
Seeing the cat.
He didn't complain either.
Around.
He didn't complain either.
He didn't say boo.
Hey, didn't say a word.
Didn't say boo.
All right, so there's our boom roasted. That's a good one, Peter. I knew you could come up with one.
Thank you.
All right, you give out our game puck. Who you want to go first?
Don't you know who I am?
That's the vibe we got for sure.
My goat.
For sure.
A game puck. Oh man,
I got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I don't even know really why this does it for me so much, but I'm at a game. I happened at Braemar this year. It happens all the time. I don't know why it just pulls at the heartstrings, but I was in Orono with my face smashed up to the glass, trying to get good pictures of Brock Payton and Cade Kuhansky and all the kids from both the Hermantown and Orono. And I turn over to my left shoulder, and there's this little kid sitting there with his Squirtacular hoodie on, fresh from this week prior. And he looks up at me and goes, I traded pins with you. And I don't remember trading pins with a lot of kids, but I must have. And he came over. I talked to him for a minute or two, and I asked him about the Squirtacular and the experience he had. And he says, yeah, it's the most fun tournament I've ever played in my life. I'm like, all 10 years of your life, you know?
That's great.
So when you get to run into kids and they recognize you, maybe not from this show or from whatever we do on social media, but he just sees me at the rink and thinks that he just could come up and talk to me about his pins that he got and how much fun he had at the Squirtacular. That makes my day. I love that. That never gets old.
Can my game puck go to something that's not hockey?
It can. Well, let's.
Actually, I don't know.
I'll judge if it's
I don't even know how I would
worthy.
explain that.
Okay, let's hear it.
King Milan's Barbershop, which is
oh boy,
the
oh yes, this is great.
The barbershop that I share an alley with. It's on University Avenue. I could not go to a hockey game on Sunday because I was too busy going to the Youth Entrepreneurship Fair that Milan puts on. And Laura and I walked into the Dayton's Bluff Rec Center, and all these kids had little tables set up, and they had little businesses.
I love
And their
that.
job was to sell their product, and we could buy something from the kids.
You're cheap, so you didn't buy a thing.
We bought from every table.
I'm sure you did.
How
Was
can
it kind of like a
you-
miniature? And I'm not saying they're lemonade stands, but it's basically like a lemonade stand, but with different products.
Oh yeah, but some
That's
of these,
cool.
like there's a table that sold us a button that we literally sent them a picture. They printed the picture and then made us a button of our dogs, and they did it in about 5 minutes.
I love
there
that.
were a couple of tables that made their own lip gloss.
Yeah,
And
I've seen that
They
before.
were made with like good ingredients and had different flavors.
Yep.
And at the end, Milan gave out prizes for first, second, third, fifth, sixth, whatever place. And he was so proud of his little entrepreneurs. And I couldn't help but be proud of Milan, because to share an alleyway with somebody, especially a commercial business, can sometimes be a love-hate relationship.
Oh yeah.
Especially when the delivery truck shows up. But Milan is just one of those people who does. And in a world that is so
Talk first, walk second.
This is what we need to do. This is how we help. Milan just does it.
I love
Milan
it.
just does it. And that
love
guy,
it.
I
Game
ran
puck to Milan,
Game
man.
puck to Milan. I ran into him later that night. He and one of his contemporaries, they were having a beer in the alley, and I thought, you guys deserve the coldest beer to have ever been poured into a bottle for the work they do with these kids. So a game puck to King Milan. He also told me to swing by the barbershop in case I need to get shaped up.
I love it. I love it. A game puck goes out to our whole staff and to our sponsors, Map South Hockey and Lakes Area Realty. I love it. Love these guys. They make this show possible. It makes our coverage of youth and high school hockey all over the state possible. For Kayla, Joe Franz, and Peter Rodney, I'm Tony Scott. Thanks for tuning in today.
You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat.